Well, now it's all happening. I told you it would. The IRS is back up to no good. Biden is overseas, falling to his knees quickly as can be. But what's really happening is they're talking about crypto, and the IRS is using on-chain AI to track down hardware wallets, which is what I told you would happen. So today I'm going to tell you what you need to do if you're in crypto too, because now it's getting real. And while they talk about all of these NATO summits and Zelensky's on stage, this is all a distraction to what's really happening. So today, in Operation Hide Your Crypto, your hardware wallet is not actually secure because code 77931 on your credit or debit card slip, if you've bought a hardware wallet in the last 5 years, is now logged. And before, they would need a subpoena to get that information from your company, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, etc. But now, because of the new law that went into effect in the debt ceiling, and now that they're at the NATO summit and all of the European countries, Australia, Canada, even countries like Mexico, crazy enough, are signing on to this, utilizing the IRS and Anchain.ai, which is a company they use with the AI to be able to track down your crypto for white-collar crimes. If you have more than $1,000 in crypto in your name after this year, you'll be going to prison for 7 years. Also, if you didn't pay taxes on previous crypto, there are a few things you can do right now, but if you don't act fast, you will be in serious financial trouble over previous transactions, because this AI is basically a bot that's scraping the blockchain for every transaction that's ever happened, and they're taking it directly back to your hardware wallet. So today, in Operation Crypto, let's go. All right, so we need to get into this because this is a very important topic and it's getting very, very serious. I've talked to you guys about why you need to be a ghost and why you need to have an institutional account for your crypto. And having your crypto on a hardware wallet is going to pigeonhole you back up against a corner. A lot of these crypto channels are full of it, and they're trying to sell you on these little, crap coins, but they're not telling you that what is about to happen is going to be catastrophic. Instead, they're trying to pump and dump Pulse Chain or XRP or whatever other coin that they're going to pretend is going to go to $1 billion, because they've been saying that for the last 7 years, but nothing's happening. The reality is, behind the scenes, a lot of these people understand. Now, I've been talking to a lot of people in my network, in government, in the IRS, and in other intelligence agency apparatuses kind of on the side, and I'll tell you that right now, basically, the IRS has a new injection of cash, $80 billion. Now, if you've seen the U.S. debt ceiling bill, they got them to strike $10 billion, but what they did is they put $60 billion to go after crypto and the other $20 billion for other internal services like customer service, etc. They took all the $10 billion that the debt ceiling bill that Kevin McCarthy touted, and that just comes from customer service. So IRS is just going to be back to having crappy customer service. What else is new? But $60 billion is going to track down crypto, what they call the white collar crime division, and people in crypto that are having more than $1,000 in their name are using crypto to purchase other, what they call unethical products, etc. So this is becoming a massive problem. Now, in the bill that I talked about, the crypto framework, and there's 7 bills in Congress right now, they all talk about the carve out for institutional accounts for businesses, because Congress is funded by businesses. And so all the business account. Also, I talked about in a recent video that BlackRock, Larry Fling, and BlackRock are tripling down on Bitcoin right now. They're buying tons of Bitcoin. They're actually single-handedly propping up the Bitcoin price right now, in my opinion. And if you look at the blockchain transaction reports, it actually supports my hypothesis that I've been talking about. And as soon as they're able to get this framework passed in the legislature of September, October, like I've been saying, this is going to go into effect in January, and then you're in serious trouble, because in January, they're going to be able to use that code that I gave you at the beginning of this video that talks about if you've ever bought a hardware wallet from basically any company, because it's not a hardware wallet. It's not that the company's telling on you. It's that code is being calculated. See, for a long time, all of these major companies, Visa, American Express, MasterCard, basically every major bank has been cataloging a certain type of purchases. Firearms is a big one, not just what firearm, where you bought, like all the transaction data that they can get from a purchase, which is a lot more than you think. It's a lot more than you see on your credit or debit card statement. This is becoming a serious problem. They couldn't use that information legally, but now with the crypto framework, that's going to be in there. So it's going to circumvent the rights that the average person has, where you have to get a subpoena to get your bank account. And this is why I talk about using offshore holding codes and being able to structure your assets through, different ledgers, not the crappy hardware wallet, but other ledgers to be able to tally your assets and not keep everything at your local bank and not keep your crypto in a hardware wallet that you bought in your name, because that's a serious problem. And that's what 99% of people do. So you've seen Anchain AI, which is the AI framework that has gotten incredibly good. Like, people are talking about ChatGPT. Dude, these chatbots are garbage. They're programmed by woke people in San Francisco with woke biases. The actual AI that they're using to be able to scrape transaction data and rebuild a picture of the day somebody got into crypto to today, follow all their crypto, is insanely good. This is why I'm a big proponent of Monero, and I think Monero is incredible, and it's one of my favorite coins. And no, it can't be hacked, cracked, or jacked, but it also puts you in a box you're pigeonholed. Now, I'm going to be talking about a upcoming project here in a couple of videos that I've been working on for a year and a half that talks about gold and silver and crypto and nothing else and the value of that. But that's the fundamental problem with Monero, is you need an on and off ramp. Having Monero is going to, again, I've said this a million times, you can have $1 trillion in Monero, but if you're running it directly through you, they're going to use Bitcoin and crypto as institutional. And a lot of you are asking, like, Cody, this doesn't make sense. Why would they use crypto as institutional-backed EFTs and other financial products? Because won't that kick the average person out? Yes, it's the paper market. It's the same thing they did with gold and silver. I've been screaming this from the rooftops, but again, you've got these ridiculous influencers telling you to get in and out of these crappy coins where you're never going to make any money. They're going to take the market over. They're going to package it through these digital currencies, similar to what they've done with the stock market, similar to what they did with the bond market in the 80s, similar to what they've done with gold and silver. The reason gold's only $2,000 an ounce and silver can't seem to break $25 an ounce is because of the paper markets. They've been able to manipulate the market. You say, well, there's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin. It doesn't matter when you start doing EFTs and paper markets and basically papering over people's retirement accounts with these coins. They're the ones who hold the coins. You hold the worthless paper. They're injecting the exact same situation. Now, on face value, because they're investing in these Bitcoins, these Ethereums, all these other coins, they're investing like the top 100 cryptos, they're going to go supersonic. And like I said, the people who have crypto are going to be in a great place, but it's also simultaneously going to put them in a box, which is what they want. Do you know why they want that? Do you know why they want people like you and me to buy into crypto really heavy right now and then not be able to use it? Because that's effectively burning. Do you know what it means when they say burn a coin? Have you ever heard of Shiba Inu? They always talk about burn, because there's way too many Shiba Inu. For Shiba Inu to even go to 1 penny, they need to burn a metric ton of this coin because there's just too many. So they talk about burn. Burning, effectively, you're locking up in a wallet. So if they can lock all of us up, we put a bunch of money in crypto and then they'll lock you up for real in jail if you break these laws. That's why they're putting this framework together all through basically NATO countries and more. There's about 67, 68 countries right now looking at doing this. So when you end up in this situation, which is coming soon, unfortunately, over the next year, I would wager to bet that by January in the United States, this will be in full effect. It's what I've been talking about so heavily about becoming a ghost. That's why I have been helping so many people recently do this, especially corporations, companies, celebrities, people in Hollywood. I've been getting, it's insane that people reaching out to me now. Obviously, we're the best in the world at this, and we invented most of it. We've done this for years. But the reality is I've been talking to other people in this space, and they're saying the same thing. Because the smart people are setting themselves up now before it's too late, and there's still time. But in the future, there won't be because of this framework. And what they're doing is they're going to use crypto as an investment product, and then they're going to switch the dollar to the Fed coin, which, again, is open. The CBDCs, every single one of you are hearing about it. I've been talking about Fed coin for over 2 years, and I was being called a conspiracy theorist. And now the government of every single solitary major countries talking about CBDCs. A lot of them are testing them, and a lot of them are getting ready to launch them, including here in the United States. But 2 years ago when I was talking about the Fed coin, people were like, oh, you're crazy, that'll never happen. Now they're openly talking about that with the dollar and with basically every other major currency, like I said years ago. And what I'm saying now, people are like, oh my gosh, you're crazy. And then in a year, 100% of what I say is going to come true because I'm talking to the people who are actually doing it. I'm at the forefront of this. I'm talking to people in Washington, D.C. I'm talking to people in political positions all over the planet. I'm talking to people who are actually putting these things into effect. Begrudgingly, it's ridiculous. And I've been talking about this for a while, and this AI product is going to go after the people because if they can't control you, they'll throw you in jail. Look at Andrew Tate. Look at all the other people throughout history, the Nelson Mandelas. The fact is you will go with the narrative or you will go away. They will make sure of it. This is the carve out for the business. And the cool thing about that is we don't yet, I don't know how far people are willing to go, but we don't yet have a second class of citizen until we have a second class of citizen. There's a lot of building blocks, loopholes, and things you can do to be able to protect yourself because now they're tracking it to hardware wallet. And if you have a hardware wallet, they'll be able to track the transactions from that hardware wallet. And they'll know it's you because they'll have your buyer transaction and then you can't use it. And you say, well, what if I don't use the crypto on a hardware wallet? That's what they want. They want you to either wise not use it or they want you to, because if you don't use it, then it's effectively burned and then they're able to manipulate the price much, much higher. Or if you use it, they can put you in jail or at bare minimum, they can fine you to the point where you're just living under a bridge. And this is the fundamental process. They don't care if you don't use it. That's the whole point. They would prefer, and let me be clear, they don't want to put they would prefer as opposed to putting people in jail for this, that's like the ultimate threat. They would prefer they back you into a corner where you have 20 grand, 100 grand, 6 million, $3 worth of crypto that you can't use because it benefits them to be able to get a bunch of people to be able to burn it because they can't use it as a personal account. They have to use it through their business. And again, people inherently are insanely dumb. It's really weird to me when you look at the fundamental aspects of this. And for me, I stopped responding to some of these off-the-wall emails I get because people are trying to crack the system. The system is broken, and it's going to keep going that way until people rise up. But unfortunately, people don't seem to be able to do that. So you have to start standing up for yourself because there's no government, there's no institution, and there's no people coming to help you or me or anybody else. They're going to help themselves. Just facts. So when you look at these AIs and when you look at these scraping bots and the data they're putting together, they officially went effective. Now, the IRS is on a massive hiring blitz. Now, they were on a freeze up until the debt ceiling. Throughout this summer and throughout the fall, they're going to be on a massive hiring blitz. And 80 to 90%, I've been talking to multiple people over there, and it's every one of them talking about 80 to 90% of what we're working on is crypto, because they're preparing to launch the digital dollar, and they need to be able to control crypto before they can launch the digital dollar in the U.S. because the U.S. is the world reserve currency, and to be the world reserve currency and to keep their status. You know, we keep talking about these BRICS nations and stuff, but it's been a miserable failure. It's not working. These gold-backed currencies, it's not working. Not enough people are getting on board, and they're just hedging their bets. These countries are like, yeah, China, we'll go into gold with you, and then every country that is talking about BRICS is simultaneously talking about their own CBDC. They're just hedging their bets. It's not working at all. It hasn't hurt the dollar at all. The only thing that's hurt the dollar is because we keep printing more dollars, so by basic economics, you print more money, you have more inflation. The only way to reduce inflation isn't interest rates, it's more productivity. Economics 101 is the most basic thing in the world, and yes, the Fed chair, Powell, knows this, but he can't tell the people that. He can't sell that to the people. So instead, he's got to raise rates and then stop rates and then try to play this game of chicken chess and see what he can come up with. And that's kind of where we are. And he already said he's going to raise rates again because he's trying to scare people out of the market. Now, the stock market's not collapsing, so it's not causing panic because the stock market is completely propped up. The stock market has never gone sideways in history the way that it's gone sideways the last several years. It's a complete lateral move 100% of the time. The worst news, it doesn't go down. The best news, it doesn't go up. The stock market is dead. It stopped reacting. I don't know why one single person invests in the stock market, but if you do, that's you and you do your thing. I'm not your financial advisor. But it's insane to me. I have $0 in the stock market nowadays because of that reason, because the stock market is completely bought off. And everyone knows it. You can look at what BlackRock has done and other companies like BlackRock, and it's the exact same thing. And this is the fundamental issue that we're running into with these paper markets. Now, the bond market is substantially better than the stock market, but the reality of both markets is they're propped up by big companies. So to move these things forward, you need to look at alternative assets. This is why I talk about crypto. This is why I talk about Bitcoin and Monero. This is why I talk about gold and silver. And this is why I talk about having cash at hand so when assets go on sale in the next recession. The only time, okay, for all you econ majors that like to comment in my videos a bunch of negative stuff, Here's a fact for you. The only time we have ever raised rates in a recession was 1928. What happened right after? The Great Depression. And these are facts. You can look them up, okay? 1928, we raised rates going into a massive recession. We knew it was a recession. We raised rates anyway. What we got out of that was the depression. We're doing it again. We're going to get another depression if we're not careful. This time, there's one saving grace, in my opinion, and that is crypto. If people would understand that crypto is decentralized, peer-to-peer, and having these alternative economies, if you will, and looking at precious metals, because precious metals and crypto is going to go supersonic, especially crypto when all these companies dive in. And for those of you who have the stomach to hold, in my opinion, you're going to be rewarded beyond belief. We're talking crypto going from 1 trillion to, I'm hearing 100, 200 trillion, which I think is insane, but I've talked about 60 to 70 trillion, and that's what I genuinely believe, which it will be crazy. And the amount of money that will be made will be in the obscene amounts of money. But I digress. Precious metals is massively suppressed, but even then it won't be able to hold on to a suppression rate in that economy. And so precious metals is going to go up a lot. Now, it's going to be a store of wealth and a classic hedge to a certain degree, but it's going to go up a lot based on historical numbers. It's going to have one of its breakout moments. Gold, for example, has had a few breakout moments in the last 7 decades, and this is going to be the biggest one by far based on what most experts in gold are saying. And no, I'm not talking about Peter Schiff, as much as I like listening to him on a rare occasion. He's hard to listen to because it's just, he's wrong 99% of the time, but one time he will be right, and it's like a broken clock. It's right twice a day. That's Peter Schiff. I like the guy, but he's got that dead set message no matter what, and it's always, well, I would have been right if the government didn't do this. Never underestimate the government's power to band-aid this situation. Never underestimate the government's power to be able to manipulate the situation and devise their own outcome. They are masters at this, and anybody who thinks the government's a bunch of idiots is an idiot themselves. They're actually probably some of the smartest economic and strategic thinkers that have ever existed. Unfortunately, a lot of them use their powers for self-gain, which is, if they're going to go up, the rest of us have to go down. It's human nature for a lot of them. You can hate the game or you can play the game, but those are your only two options, because otherwise you're going to be a pawn, or you can choose to be a king, queen, at least be a bishop or a rook. Like, get serious about your life. So what we got to do right now with N-Chain AI is got to devise a plan to move some of these crypto projects forward and look more into privacy coins. Now, I have seen some even second layer tokens and coins on even base level networks like Ethereum or Solana start to look at privacy features, because some people in the industry are starting to realize that if we don't start taking some substantial action now, the market is going to be owned. And they're going after the big players. They're going after Ethereum. They're going after Bitcoin, because that is most of crypto. That is most of the market. And if they can start taking action on those and they can start manipulating those markets, they can own the market moving forward. And then they know that they'll be able to control the financial investment products, because the fundamental financial investment products are Social Security and Medicaid here in the United States, other social safety nets in other countries, and then, of course, you've got retirements like 401ks, IRAs, and government-backed investments. So they're able to manipulate those markets, paper them with crypto, pump the markets up supersonic. They're going to win on the crypto side, and you're going to get paid in CBDCs, Fed coins. You're going to get the equivalent of the Fed coin, unfortunately. Now, with the Fed Now and everything that's been coming out on the Fed Now and the payment processor, which I've talked about in this video, and I've also talked about how the Fed Now is not the big concern that a lot of people tried to make it out to be. You're already seeing a lot of these YouTube fearmongers pivot. Now, I've been saying from day one, the Fed Now is a payment processor, and it's not the CBDC, it's not the Fed coin, and it's not actually what's going to affect you. What's actually going to affect you is when the actual CBDC comes into effect. Before that, it's the AI scraping for crypto, because they're going to try to lock up a lot of the crypto. The best way, again, I need you to fully understand, the best way they can do this is to make it so you can't access your crypto. Also, simultaneously, banks are going to stop taking transaction from flagged accounts. So whether you have a hardware wallet, whether you have an exchange, they're going to stop taking. They're going to deny transactions if you're $1,000. It's going to keep a ledger. So let's say you move $499 from an exchange into your bank account. Well, now you only have 501 left for the year, and then you can't move anymore. And this is what's going to start happening. And then anything over 1,000 that you try to move, because they'll decline it, they're going to be required to report it to the feds to be able to investigate you just because you tried to move it in and got denied. This is what's coming in these bills. I sent a lot of you guys to the Congress website in my last 2 videos. A lot of you went there. A lot of you read the bills. I've been getting hundreds of emails from you guys talking about you couldn't believe what's actually in these bills. Some of you started going through it. Privacy X, we go through all these bills, break everything down step by step, piece by piece. That way we can always stay ahead for our Ghost Program clients. But the reality is what's coming is incredibly crazy and what is going to go into effect in January. Now, the good thing is you still do have some time, a little bit of time, not much time, but some time if you haven't started yet. If you've already started, you're going to be set. You're going to be in a great position. But the reality is understanding where AI is coming with it. They have to put AI into the regular world. That way they can use it on a government level. They can say, oh, we didn't understand this. The government's been using AI for a long time. But now the reason they don't want to, all these technologists are saying AI is a scary thing that's going to take over the human race. And the government's like, well, I don't know if we should really look into it. It's because if AI's out there in the wild, anyway, I digress. AI's out there in the wild, and the fundamental problem with that is it's going to allow them to use it, and that is what's happening. So understand that if you're getting a hardware wallet, you need to buy it anonymously. You should be buying it with a Ghost card. You should be buying it outside of your regular card. If you've already bought one with your regular card, what you need to do is restructure it so all of your crypto is through your Ghost business, which is fine. Doesn't mean you have to go out and burn your hardware wallet. It means you have to restructure everything through your Ghost business to allow you to be able to set everything up outside of your personal name. You guys know that I talk about the fundamental truth in this world. Own nothing, control everything. That's what every single one of you should be doing if you want to be able to be prosperous after this year. This is the last year of being out there willy-nilly. It's over. What they're doing right now at the NATO summit, which has nothing to do with these wars, by the way, that's just a media charade. What they're actually doing over there and what they're doing in the crypto space, what the IRS is doing, what Chain AI is doing, what all these different companies are doing is basically coming after this industry because it's going to make them more money than they've ever dreamed of, because all these countries are in serious trouble after what happened in 2020, and this is their way to balance the ledger on there, balance the books, get back on top. It's the only way they can get back on top. They figured it out, and now they're going to execute, and you're going to be the fall guy if you're not set up properly. That is very, very important. Anyway, I wanted to talk about that because I've been getting a lot of questions about this and what is going on with the government AI. This is a very popular question. It's probably in the top 10 that I've been getting on the last 6 months. And so that's kind of your update on what's going on. The IRS is going on a massive hiring freeze because they are hiring frenzy. They were on a massive hiring freeze. In fact, they couldn't hire anybody up until June when they got the debt ceiling bill. Now they're going on a hiring frenzy. The IRS is hiring absolutely everywhere. The Salt Lake office in Utah is blowing up. The Virginia office is blowing up because they're setting up these crypto hubs. They have a whole new server farm just dedicated to crypto. Again, they're dedicating $60 billion on a worldwide campaign. There's something like 67, 68 countries that have signed on. That way the United States can give them information on a worldwide basis through citizens. This is why it is so incredibly important to own nothing, control everything, and have your crypto in an institutional business account so you don't get pigeonholed and you have to pick between going to jail or not losing all your money. It's absolutely insane. It doesn't have to be that way because crypto is peer-to-peer. Crypto is decentralized. Look into products that help you structure this process. So why I'm such a big fan of Monero. That's why I'm such a big fan of Bitcoin in your business. Used properly, it gives you an out and everything can't be seized because they know that they already control the banks. They have 100% control of the banks. So if they can control the banks, they can control the crypto. They've already suppressed precious metals. Stock markets owned and controlled. Bond markets owned and controlled. And they own you because you trade your time for dollars. They win. That's checkmate. So understand where we're at in this process. Understand that crypto is the last beacon of hope and freedom moving forward in the future from a financial standpoint if you want these things to progress and if you want to be in a situation where you still have freedom. Because if they can control your money, they can decide what you buy, where you go. I mean, they talked about that recently in Davos in the World Economic Forum. On stage, they're building a car. This guy right here talks about building, I can't play the video because it'll flag, but you can look this up. He talks about a carbon tracker in real time. This is coming within the next 2 calendar years, carbon tracker. And he says, and I quote, this is a direct quote, we can track how you traveled, where you traveled, what you eat, what you buy, what you consume, where you consumed the thing came from, and you get a carbon score, which is going to be molded into the new social credit score. And this is not happening in some faraway land. This is happening in 100% of Europe, 100% of Australia, 100% of Canada, 100% of the United States, and many, many, many other countries. So understand that. You want to be outside of the system. And the great thing is there still is a great way to be outside of the system. Otherwise, the system is going to own you, control you. They're just bringing back slavery. Let's be honest what this is. This is modern-day digital slavery. They're going to be able to own and control everything. They don't got to worry about you being in their face. They don't got to worry about housing you and feeding you. You'll have just enough to maybe kind of sort of do that, but you'll only be able to do, buy, be, say, travel, whatever it is. It'll be what they say, how they say, when they say, and there's nothing else and nothing you can do about it if you don't prepare yourself now. Because once Web3 is official, and once the CBDC is official, and once the social credit score is official, you can't get out of it. That's it. That's going to be the end of the road. There will be nothing else once these things come in. So I want you guys to fully understand that this is not something to be afraid of. This is something to take massive action. There's no point in being afraid because it's happening no matter what. Your fear is not going to stop it from happening. What's going to stop it from happening is your voice and your action. That's what's going to stop it. That's why I'm on here. There's a lot of people who would like me to disappear permanently. But the reality is, the reason I'm here is because this matters, because I want a better future for my kids, not a worse. And right now, we are looking at a way worse. Not even comparable. And so that's why I'm here. That's why I don't just pack up shop and peace. I'm one of the best in the world at this. I can disappear better than just about anybody on this planet, with the exception of a couple intelligence agencies. And even they will beat down a path to my door for some of my methods. And I'll tell you right now that this is more important than me sitting on a beach in Angola, because the reality is this is happening whether I like it, whether you like it. So taking action now before it happens. The problem with Americans is we've become accustomed to complaining after something happens. The old America took action when we saw an issue. The new America complains after it happens. And the rest of the world follows suit. And that's the unfortunate. And these people, these elites, these 2030, Agenda 2030, Davos, these World Economic Forum, these puppet governments understand that, and they play to that every single time. So I digress. If you haven't already, check out the first link down below if you want to go through the program. We have a few spots on the current sale, and then we're ending it. And that's it, guys. That's literally all we're going to be able to do. At that point, that's all we're going to be able to do, because crypto is the last beacon. That's why I'm fighting. That's why I'm putting together my own project for privacy to help add value to Monero, because I think Monero is incredible, but Monero, there's a few weaknesses of Monero. I'm not making a Monero clone. A lot of people have been asking me, am I making another privacy coin? No, I think Monero is an incredible privacy coin, but I'm making a privacy project that I've been working on for a long time that I'll be talking about soon on this channel. I'm actually going to have a dedicated show on this channel once a week about this project, and I'll be sharing that soon. I don't want to talk about it too early until I'm officially ready, but I'm very close. I've been working on several projects, and things go slow, but we're working very hard. Obviously, I get logs thrown in my spokes every time I turn around. As I say, there's a lot of people who don't want this information out there. My camera cuts out. Now, no, somebody did not cut out my camera, but it was a weird coincidence of timing. It's just the earth telling me that the beaches are cut. No, I'm kidding. I'm not a beaches guy. I'm a work 24/7, 365 kind of guy, and that's what I'm going to keep doing. Anyway, guys, have an amazing day. Hope you're taking action. Again, I don't want you to watch my channel and be afraid. If you watch my channel and be afraid, this probably ain't the channel for you. My goal is not to have 100 million subscribers. My goal is to be part of a community that can actually take action and make positive change for the future of our families. That's it. So if you watch my channel and you're afraid, probably not the channel for you. There's plenty of fear-mongering channels. Most of the crypto channels at this point, they're going to sell you a bunch of useless crap, or they're going to fear-monger. But what I want to do is move these things forward. So if you watch this and you take action, then it's definitely the one for you, because you're going to be one of the people like all my clients who are set up permanently for good, outside the system, complete ghosts, and they don't have to deal with this garbage. Have an amazing day, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.